Hello, I'm John. We're going to do some exercises that are chair based. So you need a good, strong, firm chair on a solid surface so the movement isn't going to be awkward and it's going to be nice and strong for you to sit on. I've got a back on the chair, but ideally we're going to be leaning forward and using our core abdominal muscles to keep us in an upright position. Make sure that you've checked your doctor before performing any exercises and you're comfortable with what we're going to do. So we're going to work on mainly the upper body, but we're going to involve our legs. I've got a soft ball. I've also got a Thera Band that's 1.5 meters long. And another alternative, I've got some dumbbells, but of course you could use your tins of baked beans or your tins of tomatoes, and you could fill up 2 water bottles with the same amount of water in, and that will give you some weight as well. So we're going to warm up incorporating a ball, but you could use one of the weights that I've suggested. So first exercise is we're just going to hold the ball tightly either side, keep our ankles, knees and hips in line, and make sure the chair enables you to have your knees no higher than your hips. So we're going to take it to our chest first of all and bring it out in front 10 times. So these will form an exercise as well as a warm-up, but at the moment this is working to mobilize your shoulders and your elbows. So we're looking at 10 in total before we change to the next one. So of course when you rewind this video and do it again, you'll be able to count all of those yourself. So the next exercise, we're just going to press overhead. So the alternatives is you could press slightly in front, slightly over your head and in front still, or you could try for the right above your head. So that's what I'm going to do, but of course you've got those alternatives, and at any point you feel uncomfortable, then you can stop doing those exercises entirely. So again, approximately 10. If you have got a nice soft ball, you could always use your fingers just to grip it so we get some work in those fingers as well. So I'm just going to move now, make sure I'm engaging my core muscles, but just getting comfortable in the seat, and I'm using the seat as a guide, so I'm slightly away from it. So the next one is you're going to try to combine the both. So you're going to do a chest exercise followed by an overhead press. So it's going to be in, out, up and down. And that's 1 in total. Brilliant. And we're nice and steady. We're not trying to hurry through these exercises. And of course, if you've got weights, it may be you tire. So what you can do is you can just put the weight down and continue the exercises without weight, or if you feel a little bit more challenge, then you can have a heavier weight. But for me, this ball is certainly sufficient for the exercises we're doing. Good. So we're going to involve the chest a little bit more in this one. So I'm going to get your elbows up but below the line of your shoulders. You're going to pull your tummy muscles in nice and tight, as always through all these exercises. Just give a little rock so get comfortable. And all we're going to do is just push in and squeeze the ball together. Obviously, if you've got a weight and it's quite a hard weight, then you're just putting a little bit of pressure on it, but be careful not to hurt your fingers or your wrists when you're squeezing it too hard. So you could just purely hold that in front of you and just apply a little bit of pressure. Okay? So this is just to engage the front of your shoulders and your chest as you squeeze that together. Good. So we're going to drop the elbows down. You're going to put the ball just in front of your tummy button. And the first alternative for the trunk twists is just to follow that round with your eyes. So you're looking at the ball, but keep your chin above your chest. If you want to make it a bit more challenging, then hold it out just in front of you. And you're trying to rotate and watching the back of the ball as you're doing this. And again, you're keeping your core muscles, your abdominal muscles all pulled in nice and tight. And make sure your shoulders aren't rising towards your ears. So you're keeping them down and back. Good. So there's the trunk twists. Bring the ball back in. And what we're going to do now is just going to pass the ball. So we're going to start with both hands out. I want you to take the ball to the side, just in line with your shoulders. Doesn't have to go back far. And then bring them in front. Okay? So we're keeping that ball just below the level of the shoulders. And keeping it nice and rhythmical. If that starts to get a bit of a challenge, what you can do is bend your arms slightly and just pass it to the side, just so we're getting a good range of movement through the chest and into your shoulders, and we're just moving. So that'd be 20 in total, so that'd be 10 on each side. So that would be 1 on that side, 1 on this side. Excellent. So you're just going to put that one down. So the next one we're going to do is keep our arms straight, and we're just going to bring the ball up just in line with our face, so it's just in line, maybe slightly above shoulder height. And again, I don't want you to round your back, so can you bring those shoulders back and just raise that in front of you? So we're engaging our tummy muscles, but also those shoulder blades at the back. We're trying to take them together for this front raise. Brilliant. So now, just going to adjust myself on the seat, but I'm going to come forward, but I'm still sitting on the seat, and I've still got a good solid base there to sit on. Feet, ankles, knees are all hip width apart, and there's a space between my calves and the chair leg and the chair. So I'm going to lean forward, but I want you to keep chest proud, and I don't want you to round your back. So you're going to pass it behind and then in front. So to adapt this exercise, so I'm going to do 10 one way and 10 the other, but to adapt it, I can sit up slightly and lean forward. So this works those erector spinae muscles. Ooh, so basically your back, certainly from the top of your bottom up to the middle of your back. And if you want to really challenge yourself, you can rainbow it over, so lean forward and rainbow it over. So I'm just going to go the other way now. So we're just going to bring that round nice and slowly, and at any point you can stop if you're feeling uncomfortable and just have a rest, or you can bring them down or just bring them midway so you're sitting up. Excellent. So once you've done 10 each way, we're just going to stop there. So the next one is I'm just going to put the ball in between my thighs. I'm going to shift a bit back further on the seat now. Again, 90-degree bend at your knees, sitting up nice and proud. If you're feeling a bit fatigued there, you can lean back, but I don't want you to round your shoulders. To keep proud, but just have the support of the upright of the seat. So I'm just going to squeeze my knees together and bring them out slowly. Now, of course, this would be very difficult if you had the weights or the tins, so you could get a nice solid cushion and squeeze the cushion together and then return to the weight after you've performed the exercise. So we're just going to work on our adductors, which is the inside of our thighs here. Brilliant. Good. So we're just going to get the ball again. I'm now going to put the ball on my shoulder. You can have the other hand resting on your thigh. I'm just going to go 10 shoulder presses. And again, if you can't take it directly over your head, you can always bring it out slightly in front as opposed to going directly above your head. Good. I'm just going to swap hands now. Again, you should be counting yours. And again, you could pause this at any time you want. Do your 10 and then just play the rest of the exercises. So you'll get into a nice rhythm knowing which one comes next. Good. Excellent. So the next exercise here is we're going to just adjust in the seat again to make sure you're comfortable. So we're going to hold the ball here and we're going to extend our leg out. So you're going to straighten the leg if you can. If you can't quite go so high, just try and straighten it, even if you're digging the heel into the ground. But ideally we're going to get a good extension, and we're really going to pull those quads in tight. So if you want to make this more challenging, you could press out. And we're going to do 20 in total, which will be 10 on each leg. Or you could press above, or a combination of the two of them. And we're keeping nice and strong again with our core muscles. Brilliant. Excellent. One more exercise to come. So now we're going to take our legs to the side. So I'm going to hold the ball at my chest, or here, or out in front, whichever you feel more uncomfortable with. And I'm just going to step my leg out to the side and just bring my knee back in line with my hip. Good. Nice rhythm to this. And you'll have various different mobilities or flexibilities. So you might go slightly wider, or you might just step a little step out. And again, I can bring my arms into that exercise again. And you'll count 20 in total, which means you've got 10 on each leg. Brilliant work. Excellent. So I'm going to put the ball down now. It'll probably roll off. So that completes the exercises with the ball. We're now going to move on to exercises with the Thera Band before we do our cool down. So I'm just going to pick up the band, just going to move the ball aside. So again, this is approximately 1.5 meters long. First exercise I'm going to do is put the band on the floor, make sure it's even length either side, and I'm just going to step my foot on it and just bring some resistance either side of my leg. So I'm going to point my toe 10 times. You could have a slight bend in your knee if you wish, but what we're trying to do is create some resistance with this band to make us have to work a little bit harder to point the toe and come back. Make sure that band's secure on your foot, because we don't want it propelling you backwards and knocking you over on the chair if it comes off your toe. Good. I'm going to put my foot down, and I'm going to change to do 10 on the other calf. So this is working the muscle from your heel at the back to the back of your knees, the calf muscles. So just the same as if you're standing up onto your toes, it's working those muscles. It's important to go on the way down and on the way back, but it also gives you good mobility for your ankles. Excellent. So I'm going to come back to my first leg, and this time I'm going to do extensions. So I'm going to take my leg out and down. So if I want it to feel a little bit tougher, I can hold lower, pull up high, and then it's more challenging for me to extend that leg out in front. And this will be working the thighs, so the front of your upper leg between the front of your hip and your knee. And you can just place that just back on the floor gently before you extend. And if that's too challenging, then of course you can always stop, or you can do this without any weight or without any resistance from the band. And keep those tummies pulled in nice and tight, and make sure that you're sitting upright. So again, if I want to reach a little bit further down, I can, just making sure I'm aligned, just touching it gently back, and that band is securely around the middle of my foot and not going to pop off the toe. Good. Make sure you're not wrapping any of the bands around your fingers. You should be able to hold it. Alternatively, you can get bands with handles on, but we don't want you to crush your fingers by wrapping the band around them. Good. So, again, approximately 10 on each. So hopefully you've been counting. So this one, I'm going to reach low on the band and lean forward. So if you can lean quite far forward and you'll feel comfortable keeping your back straight, I want you to look a couple of meters in front of you, and I want you to then to sit up nice and proud. And the band will resist as you sit up. So make sure that you come down slowly, and again, you're not rolling the shoulders. So you're pulling those shoulder blades back and keeping them back as you lean forward and then sit up. And this will work your lower to mid back, so your rectus spinae muscles that sit you up straight. Brilliant. Got a nice rhythm there. Excellent. So I'm just going to pick the band up. I'm going to put it across my thighs, just shifting that seat again, just pass both ends under and bring them to the top and hold them together. So I'm going to work on the outside of my thighs around my hip and glute area as well. So making sure it's not pinching. I'm sure you haven't got as hairy legs as I have, so might want to wear a pair of tracksuit bottoms or some trousers for this. You're just going to take it to the side and bring it back in, and then take the other one. If you feel more confident doing one leg 10 times then changing to the other, then please do. But again, I'm sitting up nice and proud, and if I want more resistance, I will bring the bands tighter around my legs, or I can bring my hands closer together, or just pull up harder at those bands. And we're just trying to work out nice and steadily, so we're under control all the time of that movement of our legs. Brilliant. It's looking good. Nice bit of rhythm. Sure you've got your music going on in the background there. Excellent work. Good. So once you've finished those, what I'm going to do is take one of the bands, or one end of the band, and I'm going to have the end coming out between my little finger and my hand, and I'm just going to bring the other one across the thigh. I'm going to start with this on my shoulder, and I'm going to bring it above my head to work my shoulders. If you feel that's too tough, then have less of the band coming out between. You can have no band at all, or you can push slightly in front and above, as opposed to directly above your head, trying to bring that bicep towards your ear. And I'm simply going to change over, adjust the hands, so it comes out between my little finger and my hand, and I'm going to take the other one now up above my head. Good. And all the time I'm trying to sit nice and proud, pull my tummy button in, and again you can choose the resistance depending on where you hold the band and how long or short it is. Brilliant. So the next one, I'm going to go back to this hand. I'm just going to take it down to my side, and I'm just going to shorten the band a little bit, and I'm going to bring it up and then down slowly. So I'm just working laterally, so my lateral raises are doing my shoulders, and I'm just doing it nice and steady all the time. And of course, if you want to make it tougher, you can hold and have more of the band sticking out between your little finger and your hand. Good. Just going to swap to the other side, change my grip. I'm just going to bring that up, down by the sides, keeping nice and proud, keeping good straight spine or neutral spine. And I'm just going to work those shoulder muscles of this hand as well, this arm. Excellent. Good work. Good. One more exercise to come. So I'm just going to throw that band over my shoulder. Okay, and then just bring it out under my arm. Again, have the band coming out between your finger and your hand. I'm going to do the same with this one. Okay, the tighter I hold it around my back, it enables me to chest press. So we're going to start with our hands just under our armpits and our elbows up but lower than our shoulders, and just going to press out in front to work those chest muscles. So I've got it around my back, not round the back of the chair. And again, I'm pulling my tummy muscles in nice and tight and just controlling the movement back. It could be you feel more comfortable having your elbows down and you're pushing out in front, but let's not try and bring the hands together. Just push them directly in front of your armpit and then bring them back. Fantastic. So you're now finished with that. Hopefully you've enjoyed those exercises, and you can then do them another 2 more times this week. So we can do that 3 times in total. And if you feel energetic, you could do those every day or split them around. So you should be very proud of yourselves. Well done. Now we're going to go on to our cool down. So first exercise, I'm going to have my thumbs up and I'm going to push my hands back. I'm going to stretch through that chest. And we only need to hold them for about 15 seconds, making sure I'm pulling the shoulder blades down and back. It might be that you feel more comfortable with your hands in this position and just taking those elbows, hands back. Good. Next one, I'm going to point my hand this way, hold on to my forearm and just bring it across here. And this stretches my shoulders. Try not to pull any joints, just go onto your forearm and make sure your elbow and wrist are below the level of your shoulders. Good. I'm going to change to the other one. Same information, pointing that way, making sure you're not having your arm too high. So we're just stretching through that shoulder as we pull away on the forearm. Excellent. A little bit of a shake to cool down. Just a few little rotations here. You can follow that round with your head because you've been holding those muscles in tight for this whole entire session. And we're just going to finish now. One hand on top of each other, elbows high. As you push away, drop your chin forward, and you're just pushing away to stretch the upper back of the shoulders. You may feel it a little bit into your neck as you drop your chin down. Good. Fantastic work. You should be proud of yourselves.